Yes, and I used to be married with an American woman from Louisiana, and my marriage was going to hell. And the last time of my marriage, I met a woman in a taxi cab because.
Speaking louder.
All right, loud. Yeah, you sure you want me to do this now? Okay. So basically, my marriage was it was a failure. And that last time. In Cairo, what happens is that you share the taxi cabs with people because there are 20 million people. That's the reason why. So all of a sudden, a French woman got into the cab, and we had this love at first sight type of situation, and it was a 20-minute ride. But we left our our names. We gave our names to each other, and then we said goodbye. But we knew that something was happening. So I started writing to her, and she started writing me back. And things were gaining a little bit more of intensity. And in one of the emails that she sent me, she wrote in the subject of the email, "The bullfighter's girlfriend." And then I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but you know, when people they have feelings for each other, they write any bullshit, you know what I mean? and so no, I answered her, in a very funny way. Yes, if you want me to be a bullfighter, I will be a bullfighter. I can do it. I know I can do it. And I was, brave about it. But I kept asking myself, what she would mean, with that subject. And things were getting, a little bit more intense and more intense and more intense until she got sick, and things started to be a little bit, weird. And in my house, my marriage was, finishing, but at the same time, we were living like a normal, couple's life. Until one night, my former wife, prepared a dinner, a very good dinner. She was such a great cook. People from Louisiana are great cooks. And then I said, "What are we celebrating tonight?" And she told me, "We're celebrating that you found love, because I read all the emails that you're sending with this Valerie, because you're with your dumb ass, your password is in my laptop, and you know what, and I knew, we were doing bad, and I felt very, very bad about it, I feel like when you go to these meetings, and, when you're an alcoholic or something, anyway, I am clean. I've been for 3 years. I've been clean. Anyway, and tomorrow I'm taking off, and she wouldn't even let me, help in carrying her bags, and I stayed there in Cairo like for 1 more month by myself. And Valerie had been the girl, French girl, had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she left to Paris. I went back to Argentina. I was like a 1 month bum, in Buenos Aires, in my sister's house, like being very, very depressed because I knew I had been, wrong, I met my actual couple. I wish she's not listening to this, Does it have any sound? Basically, I met her. I went to Brazil, and I lived in Bahia for 2 years. We had a bed and breakfast right next to the sea. It was a very beautiful place called Itacaré. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the presentation. And my sister told me about the existence of this Eduardo. I said, how similar could he be? Until, I found his pictures. I said, he looks exactly like me. What is he doing, using my name? And that nose, it's mine. It's bad, but it's mine. Anyway, so we decided to get together, and I decided I invited him to come. He was in Philadelphia finishing his master's degree, and he decided to go. So we were waiting with my wife, and I have a little daughter. And I started looking at his blog, and I found out that his first novel is called the bullfighter's girlfriend. So basically, what happened is that I was, you know, of course, I was I was astonished, and I said, you know, this is how life is becoming nowadays, with all the networking and the social, you know, and all the internet and all the information that flies and flows throughout the world, and this is a contemporary story. You know, we're connected from the past, and basically, she didn't even have a crush on me. You know, he was liking the guy over here, you know, and I lost everything I had. You know, so this would be a good opportunity, you know, to charge him, you know, for the damages. So he was there, and that's another story, you know, that someday we will talk about. But basically,
no, and actually that story is told in his first book, which is called Criaturas del Mandala, like Mandala creatures. And you know, it's actually we wrote it.
What's mandala? Mandala, what is it?
What's mandala?
Well, mandala is the name of the bed and breakfast. We didn't have any name, and some people passed by and said, "Do you have a name to recommend?"
Is it in Brazil or Salvador or where is it?
It's 250 kilometers south Salvador, and it's Bahia. Eso mismo, garota. And so basically, the name of the bed and breakfast is Posada Mandala, and basically that's the name of the book, because the book talks about, you know, the characters that went there and visited, and they have such a, you know, unique view of the world, and it's a place that it's surrounded by nature, and the nature is so strong that it makes people crazy, you know, and it's a miracle that I didn't, you know, go nuts over there.
Okay. Anyhow, our story is told in that chronicle. On the way to volcano Izalco. I don't know what else to say. Like it's really been a pleasure to be here with you guys. I mean, Philadelphia is like my hometown, and I don't know if anybody has a question. I mean, we would be really happy to answer it, you know, before we leave.
Eduardo, from Colombia, sorry. Did you have a sign when you were back on the streets of Philadelphia that said something in particular? Or were you just sitting there with your arms stretched out?
Yeah, no, I actually addressed people.
Yeah.
I actually addressed people and asked them for money, you know, like,
yeah,
that was it.
Okay.
But I mean, I think a sign would have worked better.
Interesting to see what you can write there.
Because I was, I don't know, I wasn't doing a very good job, you know.
Well, you had the guts to do it. That's important.
Yeah, but it's quite an experience.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Thank you.